all because of what it's based on.
You're talking about judgments.
But that's what
That's
the book tells
the
you to
fact.
do. But that's what the book tells you to do. We don't do that in here in America. In
I
America,
wasn't.
we don't do anything on the Sabbath. We don't mutilate our women like we should.
I am. Hey, Queen.
So that's what I'm saying. Like, it's it's these books. They tell us to do certain specific, very specific things, and then we don't do that, and then but we'll still cling to these to the very definitions that we love. And I'm not going to change the subject. I'm not going to go into that subject. But I'm going to go back into secular morality. It's just me personally. I think the secular morality is far superior to any religious morality because a religious morality can be subjective. It can be
Stop making everything about money,
subjective
MC.
to
That's
go
the whole
beyond
point.
what religion you adhere to. And just like the lady said, there is no really right or wrong because what's right in Judaism may be wrong in Islam. What's right in Christianity may be wrong in Hindu. And
Oh, okay, but you're taking the conversation. I didn't talk about one. I have no religion. I didn't compare other religions. I said you get people, not religions. You just get
yeah, and that's
you.
what I was saying. Secular morality. That's why I brought up the concept of secular
And
morality.
then you brought up judgments like chapter. I wasn't even talking about judgments or even doctrine per se.
Yeah.
What you see, and so basically your answer was evolution. That's basically your
No,
answer to the question was
secular
evolution.
morality. Secular morality. Like I said, to the point you were making earlier about how you can bring this all this group of people and they'll still have this one. They'll all believe that murdering a man is wrong. That is true, and that's based on, like I said, these evolutionary leaps that we as human beings made, and we found out that hey, pricking myself with a pin hurts. If I do this to another human being, that would probably hurt them too. Therefore, I'm not going to prick people with people with pins. And we learn these things, and it becomes passed on to our children, our generations, and we attribute. Oh, God said, "Do not kill," but maybe it was just a smart guy one day, and said, "Hey, you know what? Killing people is probably not good. So I'm gonna make sure they don't kill people by saying a God said to do." And like you said earlier, people have been doing this before Christianity. Judaism, supposedly
Well,
written by Moses
well,
and and all that, 1200 BC. Like, there are books way older than that. That say, things are similar and the things that are different. So which one are you going to believe? One is new or one's the oldest?
But to the young lady, she asked if she believed that God was real or not. But I put in there that God is everything and everyone. Yes, God is real. You are God. When you look at yourself in the mirror, it tells you in the Bible, to the Bible guy, it says that you are created in His likeness and in His image. So if you are created in the likeness of and in the image of, then that makes you a God. This is what everybody out here, especially us, a lot of us who have come from the Moors, who come from the Hebrews, we are God's chosen people. You feel me? God, everybody is not God's chosen people. And it tells you that in the Bible. That's why we have to select 12 tribes. You feel me? And it also tells you in the Bible that the Nephilim ruled the world, that they were here and then they still exist. So you got to realize that everybody on earth is not God's people. This is why people have different beliefs, different ways of life. You feel what I'm saying? Everybody is they're different gods. Everybody is not the Hebrew gods people. So always keep that in mind that we still live amongst the earth with Nephilim, which the Nephilim are the children of the fallen angels. They are still here. They pretty much disregard as well from the get-go. You feel me? So they are all here to destroy us. That's why you have so many different types of people on earth. There's no way, and it's already been proven scientifically, that it could be this many people on earth coming from only two people, Adam and Eve. It's impossible.
I
So
don't
keep
believe it's two
I,
people.
I like to tune in a little bit. I like to tune in a little bit in this conversation. Hello, everyone. Greetings, greetings, grand rising to you all.
All right.
Very
Pretty
rising.
interesting and dynamic conversation. It is said the most difficult conversation to have with any human being is about religion, spirituality, and politics, right? Because any of those subjects, well, spirituality, God, and politics, can be is based on a subjective experience as well as an overlay of a cultural rules, laws, social construct, and some of that construct is absolutely human based, and some of that construct, the cultural construct, is based on the need of a particular society at that time or a people at that time, i.e., the Ten Commandments, right? Why only 10? When we have Ma'at laws is 100 and what, 142, right? And so the
Actually, I
10
thought it was 40.
Commandments of the Bible is 10. Why? Because the people of that time absolutely needed that instruction, like
Right.
basic human instruction, because there was a lot of mayhem. Yes, men were stealing other men's wives, men were lying, men were doing all of this stuff that was a low vibrational frequency, that was not a high spiritual consciousness. And a high
Right.
spiritual consciousness, not based on text, based
Right.
on cosmic law. You do good, you get good. You do bad, you get bad. Right? So based on that concept of law, cosmic law,
Number
and not
four,
the
I need
law. I'm sorry, you're breaking up. Am I
I
breaking
need
up?
you to calm down. Number four, because I think you're smoking or something. They just gave me a high risk. I didn't know that you was
Oh,
doing
my
it.
bad. I forgot. This is BIGO. I keep forgetting.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah, there's a lot of strict. I'm learning too. But you know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? So, and I forget who was saying this just a moment ago, that you've got the Torah, you've got the Quran, you've got the Bible, you've got the Bhagavad Gita, which is the
Yeah.
East Indian, and all these quote unquote sacred texts are very subjectively presented and relevant, in particular, to the cultural dynamics, to a timeline, a particular timeline, but
Right.
also with the foundation of cosmic law. Now,
Right.
earlier someone talked about truth and what is the truth, and I put in the chat, there is subjective truth, right? So whatever I believe is true, it's true, and I manifest that in my world, right? Nobody can tell me that's not true, but it's subjective. And then there's the relative, then there's the absolute truth, right? Absolute, that is cosmic, and that's whether we believe it or not. Even with the power of our own mind, whether we believe it or not, it is still true, right? And then this whole idea of the chosen. You see, to me, the chosen is just like people, white folks who think they have white skin privilege. They just
Right.
think that they have privilege, right?
Speak,
And the
Queen.
only reason why they think they have privilege, because a baby doesn't come in that way. A baby doesn't come in that way. The only reason why that anybody of European ancestry think they have privilege over another, because they were told that. And
There's a
then the
book.
system and society supports that, reinforces that notion. But nobody has that privilege. So whether the Jew says we are the chosen ones, whether the Moor says I am the chosen one, guess what? We are all of that same light. We are all of that same light. And that absolute consciousness of love, because the absolute consciousness, the most high, the most
Mm,
high, the
mm,
most high is the most high frequency. It's not a being, it's a frequency. And
mm.
that most high frequency, that is not us. But that most high frequency is love. And
No,
love does not discriminate. Love doesn't say, I love you more, I love you less, right? Humans created that. It's the same
Right.
way that humans have said that one rock is more special than another rock, right? That this crystal is more special, precious, precious, right? You have precious stones, and then you have this idea of semi precious. How could
Mm.
anything of earth, of creation, be less or more precious? You see, but this is the social engineering. This
Right.
is the mind control.
It's a
This
big.
is the cultivation that supports a dominant power structure. And we drink the Kool-Aid, we take it in, we run it through our systems. Remember, whatever you put in the brain will give it back to you and say, you're right, absolutely, you're right. You feel like you're the chosen one? Guess what? You are right. You are the chosen. And how many people on the planet feel like I'm chosen? You know why I'm chosen? Because I'm conscious. I'm right here. I'm right here,
you
and I
are
have a
chosen.
consciousness.
You know why you
So
chosen?
anyway, so I just wanted to kind of refer to those couple of things, and let's carry on.
You just gave everybody
Mm.
a good brief of information.
I'm
A lot of
sorry,
knowledge now. So that's why you
I think
chosen.
you're holding your hand over your phone again.
I can't hear you.
You can't
Yeah.
hear me.
Hey, yeah,
That's
you hand over your microphone.
It's this phone. I just bought it. I don't know how to
Okay,
use it.
that's better.
You probably hold it on the side, not by the bottom.
That's what I'm doing is holding on the side
That's better.
That's
because
better.
I'm talking to the bottom. Yeah, but I was saying that you just gave everybody a good sense of knowledge. We were just talking about we chosen. You might have been chosen just to give us this knowledge because there's people here right now that needed that understanding. So yes, you are chosen.
That's
And
right.
you're
We
very
all
knowledgeable,
are.
you're very intelligent, and I can tell. And you need to
Yeah.
breathe on more, a lot more people to keep on breathing on us.
We're all chosen. But see, again, that kind of notion is another way, but it's a sneaky way of divide and conquer.
Right.
But
Uh,
nature,
Mm.
if we look at nature, there is no tree that feels more superior or more chosen over another tree. You got
right.
the mighty oak, you got the mighty redwood, you've got the little spruce, and they all are powerful in their own right. They're all connected, and they all are feeling equal but different. They are different, but there's no dynamic. That's a human construct. And sometimes I look at nature. Nature is actually much more intelligent, I think, than humans. And I think that we want to talk about generational curses. I think the curse that we're dealing with is the curse of free will. Now it's a beautiful thing to think on our own and to come up with our own ideas, right? To go forth into life and create and co-create and come up with things. But it gets us in trouble because it creates an arrogance. It creates a power structure. It creates division, competition. Right? It creates a God that
Yeah.
will choose one of his children over another. And people will say humans. I'm talking about humans. People will look at a parent, and if a parent chooses one child over another, that parent will get some criticism. What's the difference? How can you choose one of your children over the other and say that one child, and it happens, that one child is a chosen child? But it does happen. Sometimes one child gets more love from mama or papa over the other. Does that make that right? What is that other child suffering? As a woman of color, I'm African American, by the way, as far as I know, as far as I have been told. I haven't done any DNA,
Two
right?
different
So I've
continents.
gone through the world hearing that, Jews are the chosen. So me, internally, that made me feel a certain way. Wait, they're chosen and I'm not? And yet I'm praying to this God?
Right.
And it's like, what does that do to the one who are not chosen? It causes a deficiency, a modification, and a disconnect, and a
But the,
competition and a jealousy. What God is jealous? What God is jealous? I hear in some of these sacred. I have you get to see my library, right? What God is jealous? If we're talking about the most high frequency, there's no jealousy. I love you all equally. And you're free to be who you are becoming. So I think it's important. I came up with an age that says question everything and including question authority. So any of these religious texts presents itself as an authority through man, man, through the human, right?
right.
And that information, whether it was Moses, whether it was Muhammad, whether it was the Buddha, whoever it came through, Jesus, Yeshua, whoever it came through an interpretation and a translation from the human being. Now, some people are vibrating higher, and their antenna, they're open enough. They're vibrating at a frequency that where they can receive a higher frequency of knowledge, right? And so we've named those few. And then there are those who are listening who are also interpreting, reinterpreting how many interpretations. King James Bible, what does it say? It's right there in plain sight. It says King James Version. What does
But,
version mean? It's a
but
version.
James
We all
didn't
have
like.
our version. I have my version. So we must use our intelligence, sort this thing through, not just eat it up just because somebody said so. Even if a man says they are the one, I'm the chosen, I'm here to choose, I've been chosen to tell you the secret of life, or I'm God's whatever voice. We all are. Every animal, every insect is a voice of God. God essence. I like to use that word, God essence. So we must not just take things just because we were told it is true.
And it's hard not to. I didn't mean to cut you off, but it's hard not
No,
to. I
no.
remember a steel song. I remember an old reggae song where the guy says, everybody has a weakness for thy love. Everybody bears a weakness for thy love. And it's true. We all do bear a weakness, that one spot, that one thing that says, what is this? What am I doing? What is this? You know? We don't really, nobody knows. We can say we got the answer
That's right.
and
And no human can satisfy that.
right.
No human.
And I
All we
think
might. And any preacher, any rabbi, any imam, any guru, some people, very, real seekers, true seekers, vulnerable seekers who will look at another human being as their most high, their higher self. No, no.
right.
If you are vibrating that high, guess what? You would not be here in this 3D. You would not be here in this 3D, acting, behaving, walking, and talking, and all of that in this 3D. No, you would be here for a period of time to bring a teaching, and then you're off to the next galaxy. You're not here. You're not here. You're not vibrating that high to stay here because this planet cannot hold that frequency for too long. It's temporary. That's why the man called Jesus or Yeshua, he lived what to the age of 33, which is also we've been told, which is
Learn
also interesting. 33 is it's a Masonic number, right? Then there's the missing years of Jesus. Where was he? Where was this man, Yeshua? There's no what Jesus, right? Jesus, what? There's nobody in Israel or the Middle East called Jesus.
No.
Only Latino people are called Jesus, Jesus.
Well,
You know what I'm
that's
saying?
very
Yeshua, Jewish, Yeshua, right? So where was he in the missing years? He was in the mystery school
right.
of the Shambhala. He was in East India. He was in the mystery school learning about the highest teachings of the mystery
you,
school that was not based
you have
in
historical
Judaism.
sources on.
As a Jew, it wasn't based in that because it was not relative to that. That knowledge is not relative to culture.
Do you have any sources on that?
What's
That
on that? Oh, plenty. Plenty. I can't give you a bibliography, but one day I'll show you my library.
okay.
You know what I'm
Well,
saying?
Hey, you can
Because,
You can
what
try the
this is
Aquarian Gospel of Jesus Christ, the Circle Five Quran of the Moorish Science Temple.
yeah, it's Circle Seven. I am a Mo. That's a Circle Seven.
it's
William
all
William.
right there. And someone was mentioning the Quran. I mean, listen, Muhammad had child brides. Does that make it?
Mm-hmm.
What do we do with that? In our culture right now, we look down on that. What? You had a bride that was 12 years old? What? Our culture right now, we look down on that. But yet, that is also noted in the Quran. It creates a very confusing experience because that was relative to a time, and even in some cultures right now, there's an issue about it. Child
in
brides.
Mexico,
There's an issue about that.
This
12
the
year olds, 9 year olds. I heard
yep.
somebody said that as soon as a child starts to bleed, that she's ready to be married. What? But that's
Aisha was
us.
9.
That's
She was
our
12.
morality. But in certain cultures, that is allowed, that's permitted, it makes sense to them. You understand? So that's the difference between relative truth and absolute truth. And somebody earlier in the chat said, in the cosmic realm, there's no guidepost that's based on morality. It's based on whether you are doing good and not evil deeds and evil doings. And what is that? We can define what that is. And for me, that means that whatever I do, I get a return on that. That's the law of karma. And is the return on that good for me? Or is the return on that punishing me or making my life difficult? That's it. The universe does not discern and does not make a judgment because the law is at work. we can't deny that. We've got the law of government, but the law of the cosmic law overrides that. So you know what I'm saying? It's no,
well,
there's no, it's all relative truth.
Mhm.
Well,
Yeah.
we mentioned something to sister number five that was a part of my original question, and I would like to get into that, but I have to respond to some things. Now, now you mentioned Mayat, and it's actually 42 principles of Mayat. Now, when you look at the lifestyles of the people of Kemet,
Hmm.
they didn't even follow the 42 principles of Mayat. So,
That's right.
and people try to use this against the Bible. Now, you also said Ten Commandments, what I call so-called Ten Commandments, because I don't think it's actually 10 when you read it. Because
947.
covet is listed on three separate line items, but is covetousness one commandment or three separate ones? But that's just Exodus 20. The law of Torah is more than just the first few chapters of Exodus 20. When you read all of Torah, there's more laws than that. And there are far more laws than the 42 principles of Ma'at. So Torah is definitely superior to that. And ancient Hebrew people had this knowledge even before you get to this Ma'at and Egypt and all of these different principles.
Right. And you know that the Torah is the Old Testament.
Yeah, well, yeah, first five books,
Right,
so
right. It's, so people who don't know, right? The
you know,
Torah is the Old Testament.
So
you know,
Just a different name.
so people try to use that to try to,
Respond to that real
was
quick. I don't think that the Torah was there before the ancient African peoples. You know what I'm saying? Because the timeline was to my studies, it was written around 1200, 1300 BC. The ancient
Mhm.
African peoples have been there for like what, well,